My sister stole my brand new car, wrecked it, then smirked. It's just a car. At dinner, I watched her choke on a $45,000 bill in her name. I'd spent 3 years saving for that car. 3 long years of double shifts at the hospital, picking up every holiday and weekend nobody else wanted, skipping vacations while my friends posted beach photos, saying no to concerts and dinners out. I tracked every dollar in a spreadsheet, watching the numbers climb slowly from nothing to something real. When I finally walked into that dealership and signed the papers, my hands were shaking. The salesman handed me the keys, and I just sat in the driver's seat for 10 minutes, running my fingers over the steering wheel, breathing in that new car smell. It was the first major thing I'd ever bought that was completely mine. Not financed by my parents, not a hand-me-down, mine. I drove straight to my parents' house to show them. Mom hugged me tight. Dad took photos. Even my younger sister Nina came outside to look, though she barely glanced up from her phone. She walked around it once and said, "Nice, I guess. Little basic though," then went back inside. 2 days later, I was in the shower when I heard my apartment door open and close. Nina had a spare key for emergencies. When I got out, my car keys were gone from the counter. My stomach dropped. I called her phone, straight to voicemail. Called again, voicemail, 15 times, nothing. Then my phone rang. Unknown number. A tow truck driver asking if I owned the vehicle he was hauling. My heart stopped. He gave me an address across town. I threw on clothes and drove my old beater to get there. The scene made me sick. My car was completely destroyed. Front end crumpled like an accordion. Both airbags deployed, fluid leaking everywhere. The frame was visibly bent, totaled. Nina was standing off to the side, leaning against a telephone pole, scrolling through Instagram. She had a small cut on her forehead, but otherwise looked fine. When she saw me, she pushed off the pole and walked over. "Before you freak out," she said, holding up one hand. "I'm fine, not even a real scratch." I stared at her, then at my car, back at her. "You took my keys," I said slowly. "I told you no when you asked last week." She rolled her eyes. "Oh my God, relax. It was just sitting there. I needed to pick up some stuff and my car was blocked in. It's not that deep." "Not that deep? Nina, look at it. It's totaled." She glanced at the wreckage and shrugged. Actually shrugged. "Yeah, that sucks, but you're being dramatic. It's just a car. Mom and Dad will handle it like they always do. You'll get a check or whatever. You'll be fine." Something in me went cold. I didn't yell, didn't cry. I just looked at her for a long moment, then walked back to my car without a word. The next morning, I called my insurance company. I explained everything calmly. My sister took my vehicle without permission. I had explicitly said no. I had text messages proving it. The agent went quiet, then said, "So you're filing this as unauthorized use?" "Yes," I said firmly. She explained what that meant. Since Nina took the car without my consent, the liability would transfer entirely to her. All damages, all costs, all responsibility. I'd be covered. Nina would be on the hook for everything. The total came to $45,000. $45,000 that Nina, who worked part-time at a boutique and lived with our parents, would have to pay. 3 days later, Mom called and invited me to family dinner. Her voice had that careful tone she used when she wanted me to be the bigger person. I knew what it meant. She wanted me to forgive Nina so things could go back to normal. I showed up on time. The table was set like Thanksgiving. Candles lit, good plates out. Mom had made lasagna. Everyone was already seated. Dad at the head, Mom to his right, Nina across from my spot, looking smug. Nina gave me this little smile as I sat down, like she'd already won. Like this dinner was just a formality before I caved, like I always did. We made small talk, passed dishes, poured wine. Then Mom cleared her throat. "So," she began gently, "I think we all know why we're here. What happened was unfortunate, but it was an accident. Nina made a mistake, but she's family, and family forgives each other, right, sweetie?" She was looking at me. They were all looking at me, waiting for me to let it go. I was about to respond when the doorbell rang. Mom frowned, annoyed. Dad got up to answer it. We heard him talking to someone. Then he came back holding a large envelope. "This is for Nina," he said. "Certified mail from an insurance company." Nina's expression faltered. She took the envelope, tore it open, and pulled out the documents. I watched her face as she read, watched the color drain, watched her eyes go wide, watched her hands start shaking. "What is this?" she whispered, looking up at me. "What did you do?" I set down my fork and met her eyes. "It's just a car, Nina. I'm sure Mom and Dad will handle it."